Hello and welcome to a new video, and as you can see it's of a mystery item. Now it's something very different to what I normally do on my YouTube channel, and in particular unboxing it with this particular item. I can tell you that it is a vinyl or a record as it's commonly known as, and I haven't bought a vinyl in the last couple of decades, so for me it's kind of a unique kind of a thing to sit there and buy. Normally it's been to do with prices as to why I really haven't bought vinyls, although I've always been interested in them. And considering that I don't actually have a record player anymore, although I do have a record player, an old one from my late grandfather, but that's a really old one and it doesn't work. And my late grandfather used to sit there and collect records back in the day, and I used to listen to them when I was young. And my late cousin, who passed away 2 years ago, he's really into music and had a vast collection of vinyls himself, even though he was embracing the newer technology when it comes to music, when it comes to streaming and computers and that stuff. But I've always had a keen interest in trying to collect vinyls, but so hopefully this will give me the impetus to collect more. Now, what's really unique about this particular vinyl is the fact that I've owned various different remixes of this particular track. Well, it's an R&B track, and on this CD version of this particular song, a lot of the mixes that are on the vinyl are actually on the CD, and I've only ever heard some of the mixes from the record stroke vinyl on YouTube. But obviously, sometimes they stay up there for a very long time, and then sometimes they get taken down. And I've searched high and wide to try and get the particular mixes on say on streaming platforms or on maybe even on CD, and unfortunately the particular remix tracks from this particular track is only available on the actual vinyl itself. And obviously I know obviously with technology, before it was cassettes, CDs, and now we've got these various different streaming services where you've got Amazon Music, we've got Apple Music as well, and then obviously we've got things like Spotify, and it's probably other streaming platforms available to play your music. But what I find quite frustrating, and I don't know if this is just me, is that a lot of remixes from certain artists that you have on CDs or even on vinyls, in this case, they're not available on the streaming services, and which makes it so infuriating and so difficult to find certain mixes. So unless you still have the vinyl or the CD, it's very, and then obviously I know everybody's playing music on through their phones now, because obviously the iPods now, they've stopped making them, or unless you buy them second hand. It's very difficult to get certain remixes of particular tracks that you've listened to in the past on either cassette, CD or vinyl, because the streaming service aren't supporting them, no matter how hard you try to find them. On some cases you do find them, some cases, most cases you don't, so that's frustrating. So I managed to find this particular item on eBay for quite a reasonable price, and there was a fee to pay for the postage and packaging, which wasn't too bad. I think it was £2, and the actual price of the vinyl, I managed to put in an offer to get it a little bit lower than what the eBay seller was suggesting, and they accepted it, and obviously I got it. I ordered it a few days ago, and took about 4 or 5 days to arrive. I got it this evening. The only kind of negative, and I think I'm a little bit worried about, is, as you can see here, there's a tear there, and obviously it's at the back there, you can see there. So I'm hoping that to the actual cover slip of the vinyl and the actual vinyl slip itself, that there isn't any kind of damage to the actual item itself, especially the vinyl. There's a little bit of damage to the actual vinyl sleeve. That's not too bad because again, it's not new. It's going to be again, this is second hand, so you're going to bear in mind that you're going to have wear and tear when it comes to this side of things. So we shall do the grand unboxing. So I'm hoping that it is, obviously it's the right item. When I saw the tear at the corner, it is the right artist, but I'm just making sure because you just never know where you get sent the wrong things or anything like that. So without further ado, we'll be commencing unboxing, which is going to be, for me, totally unique for me. So here we go. Again, what's kind of got me a little bit worried again is you can tell it's a record, but obviously with records being quite flexible, that's got me a bit worried, because what you don't want is having a record for it to bend or you know, like bending while it's in transit. And then obviously it doesn't say anything about obviously the people delivering it to be careful of it, because obviously it could be quite fragile. Yeah, it definitely looks like it's the right item. It's gonna be a question of the material. Again, as for at least I'm not, it's been well sealed, so I can't complain there. But just obviously with vinyl being quite flexible. Yeah, it's actually the right one. And I can put this on there, and then we'll take a closer look at the record or the vinyl. And as you can see, it's of the record Humpin' Around, the Klass mixes by the R&B artist Bobby Brown. So it actually is what I actually wanted, and the condition of it, which I'm looking at it so far, looks actually in pretty reasonable condition. Again, you've got to take it to the wear and tear. And then it also includes the massive hit "Two Can Play That Game." Now I'll go into a little bit of the history of this particular song. And the song Humpin' Around was taken from his third studio album called Bobby, and it was the second track, well, technically the second track of the actual album. There was an intro, which was the first track, and then there was the second song. It goes into the intro and then goes into the second track, which was Humpin' Around, and that was the album version of it. And that it was released with the original version, because obviously this is the remix. The original version of Humpin' Around was released on July 28th, 1992. Through MCA Records, and its genre is New Jack Swing, and the record label, I suppose, was MCA, and the songwriters on the actual track were L.A. Reid, Babyface, or L.A. Reid's known by his full name, Antonio Reid. Babyface, also known, his real name is Kenneth Edmonds. Daryl Simmons, Bobby Brown, Thomas Keys, Jan C, and an artist called Styles, who would perform the rap on the actual soundtrack, on the actual music track. It was released as a single as well on CD, which it had 4 tracks on the original R&B release in 1992, and if I remember, it came with the radio version of it, which was like 4 minutes and 21 seconds long, which featured the rap. There was a version of it which didn't have the rap in it at all. And there was also a instrumental version of it where there was just the music and no actual singing that was on the actual track itself. And also at the time in 1992, it was also released on cassette and CD as well. And throughout the years, there's been loads of different remixes of Humping Around. There's even been, if you get I'm trying to remember, there was a Bobby Brown box set, a 5 disc box set, which contained his greatest hits, and there was even a extended version of Humping Around where it's almost 8 minutes long, 7 or 8 minutes long. And so there was an extended version of it. And as before, there was even a remix of Humping Around that was released on his remix album called Remixes. It was called Remixes in the Key of the B, and the remix of Humping Around on that remix album was done by Jermaine Dupri. So you can check out that. So there's various different remix versions of Humping Around. There's loads of versions. There's, as I said before, instrumentals. The one without the rap. There's one with the rap. And the album version of Humping Around is a lot longer. I think it's over 6 minutes long. Whereas the single version of it that was released in the charts was only 4 minutes and 21 seconds. So it's shorter, because the album version of it was a hell of a lot longer. So that was in 1992. Now, what makes this one in particular very different is that Humping Around was re-released 3 years later in 1995. Where it was remixed by a production group called Klass. So that's why it's called Humpin' Around, the Klass mixes. And prior to Klass remixing Humpin' Around, they remixed a song called Two Can Play That Game. And that was called Two Can Play That Game, the Klass mixes. Which was I think it was released around about 1995. It was actually a big hit by Klass, and was played a lot on the dance circuit, especially in the clubs. And so the original version of Two Can Play That Game is also on the third track on the Bobby album, so you can listen to the original version of it. And the Klass version of Two Can Play That Game was released on CD. And it had various different mixes by Klass. So you had the radio mix, and you had the extended mix, which is nearly over 7 minutes long. Now, if you want to listen to what the sound of the Two Can Play That Game Klass mix sounds like, you can find it on YouTube, Amazon Music, Apple Music, and obviously Spotify. Because obviously, if I even attempted to play it, obviously I'm going to get a copyright strike. So that particular track was a big hit. So Klass would then follow up another remix with remixing the 1992 track Humping Around, obviously called the Klass remixes. And a fairly similar thing to where they would release a radio version of Humping Around the Klass mix, which was about 3 minutes. Just about 3.5 minutes, round about that figure, and then they would release a club version of it where it was the extended version of it. So it was basically a longer version of it. Now, on the CD version of it, which is why I got the vinyl, you got the radio edit, you got the extended version of the actual Klass mix. The third track was the original version of Humping Around, but a cut down version of the album version of it. And then the fourth track on the CD was Two Can Play That Game by Klass, but the extended version of it. So I already had this on CD. Now, the difference between this and the CD version of it is that you get 2 tracks that actually aren't on the CD version of it. And again, as I said before, not available on any streaming services to listen to. And it's only when I was searching around on YouTube to try to listen to some different versions of Humping Around, where I managed to find a version of Humping Around by Klass that I've never heard before. And so, unfortunately, what can happen is that when somebody uploads a rare remix of a track, it can disappear. Even when you favourite it, it can disappear. Although there's probably ways of being able to save it, but I haven't done that in kind of years. So as I said, this includes the massive hit of Two Can Play That Game by Klass. Obviously this is by Bobby Brown, and it's the Humping Around the Klass mixes, which is cool. And funny enough, the album, the vinyl cover is the same cover that they used on the original re-release, or the original release of Humping Around on cassette and CD, and also the CD version of the Klass mix. So they use the same artwork. And at the back, it has you've got two sides to the actual vinyl itself. So on the top side of the actual vinyl, you get the Klass mix of Humping Around, which runs at 7 minutes and 45 seconds. Again, you can find this extended version of it on YouTube if you want to sit there and listen to it. And then the radio edit is available everywhere. You can find it on Apple Music, Spotify, as I said, Amazon Music, and even YouTube itself. It's the second track that caught my eye, and it's the Pharmacy dub, which is 6 minutes and 25 seconds long, and that's the version of it. It's the remix, the rare remix that I heard on YouTube, and that was for me. I found that over a week ago, and I actually really enjoyed it because a lot of the actual track itself sounds like the other remixes of the Klass Humping Around remixes, but just very different. And I actually really enjoyed it, so that was pretty cool. So that's the first time I've ever heard that remix of it. Now, funny enough, Klass did do a Pharmacy dub of Two Can Play That Game on the Two Can Play That Game Klass mixes CD, which is a bit strange how they put the Pharmacy remix of Two Can Play That Game on the Klass CD, but the Humping Around Klass CD, they didn't put that, but the pharmaceutical dub version of Humping Around on the CD, which is a bit weird, but nevertheless I've got it. On the other side, we get the Steve Anderson mix, which runs at 6 minutes and 58 seconds. Now that version of it I actually have heard before, and there's loads of people on YouTube that have uploaded that version of the Steve Anderson mix. So I've heard that one before. Again, both the Pharmacy dub and the Steve Anderson mix are not on any streaming platforms whatsoever, or even on the CD versions. Again, as I said before, which is a bit infuriating. Was the you have to sit and do that. And then finally, the last track, the second track on the other side of the vinyl is Two Can Play That Game, the Klass radio mix, and that's 3 minutes and 31 seconds. So you do get the previous remix of that Klass did of Two Can Play That Game, and I'm assuming most people have heard the remix of Two Can Play That Game by Klass, and that was a really popular dance track back in the mid-90s. As I said before, some people I know don't like that version of it. Some people do like it, and then there's some people that prefer the actual original version of it that was on the album. And that one, and Two Can Play That Game, the original version of it, which again I said before was on the Bobby album, was written and produced by Teddy Riley. So it's got heat. So the songs of all the vocal verses are very similar. The actual track itself sounds completely different. And there was a video that was done for it as well. So it was played a lot back in the day, and it was very well known in the clubs. And then later in 1997, Klass will do two more remixes from Bobby Brown from his fourth studio album called Bobby Brown Forever, and Klass would remix his track that he released of there called Feeling Inside, and they did a radio edit of Feeling Inside, obviously that again by Klass, and then they would also do a club version where it was basically just an extended version of that. And that, I think that's been very. I've seen the Klass remixes of Feeling Inside by Bobby Brown on YouTube, but they keep disappearing. And as far as my knowledge will go, as I know that those are the only 3 Bobby Brown tracks that they remixed. I do know, if people might remember, is that they Klass did remix another popular music duo, and if people might remember the duet with Janet Jackson and Luther Vandross, and the song was called "The Best Things in Life Are for Free," which was taken from the movie More Money, and Klass would also do a remix of that track as well. And that track you can and he did several different remixes of that song as well, which funny enough you can find on I don't know about Amazon Music, but you can find it on Apple Music if you look for Janet Jackson and Luther Vandross, "The Best Things in Life for Free," and there's like several remixes of that track by Klass, and they have this particular kind of sound to them. So when you hear that Klass remix that track, and you listen to, say, Two Can Play That Game, Humping Around and Feeling Inside, it's got that familiar kind of a beat to it, so you can tell it's Klass. I had no idea that the group was actually based in Wales, in Wrexham. I had no idea of that until I did some research, and you can look up Klass, because I think there's something about them on Wikipedia where they've done loads and loads of other remixes for other artists, and I think they even did a compilation album of remixes that they've done, and again they've got a familiar sound to them that makes them Klass. But yeah, overall, I love the remix of what they did to Two Can Play That Game, Humping Around, Feeling Inside, and again the Luther Vandross and Janet Jackson track where they remixed "The Best Things in Life for Free." So check out those tracks. But again, I'm saying before, I'm really glad that I've able to get access to get the Pharmacy dub and the Steve Anderson mix. Although that one's again is much easier to find on YouTube. Now I just need to get a record player, and the only other Bob Brown vinyl that I do want to get on vinyl is that people remember the 1989 hit that he did called Every Little Step. There's 2 versions of that. There was the remix version of it that you see the video to where he raps to, and the original version of it is on his second studio album called Don't Be Cruel. So when you hear the 2 versions of it, they don't really sound the same. I've always been used to the Every Little Step single, that the music video version of it with the rap in it, and the original version of it on the Don't Be Cruel sounds completely different. And then in 1996, I think it was 1995, 1996, they would obviously CJ McIntosh would do a remix to Every Little Step, but the remix of Every Little Step is based on the actual words. Just the vocal, not really the vocals. The actual lyrics of the song are actually based on the original version from the Don't Be Cruel album, not the video version of it. So for example, the second verse of Every Little Step on the original version of it it has got a completely different verse. And then when you listen to the remix version, which is on the music, which is what you see in the music video, the second verse is and compare the second verse of the music video to the original version of it on the Don't Be Cruel album, they're completely different. So the CJ McIntosh version of it is actually based on the Don't Be Cruel version of Every Little Step. So it's a really good track, the CJ McIntosh version of it. And on the vinyl version of that, of Every Little Step by CJ McIntosh, there's several different remixes, dance remixes of Every Little Step, which weren't on the CD version of it. Because on the CD version of the CJ McIntosh remix of Every Little Step, you'd get the radio edit, you would get the radio edit of the Two Can Play That Game, the K-Klass mixes. You would get the extended version of Humping Around the K-Klass mixes, and you would get the dance remix version of My Prerogative by, if I'm pronouncing this right, Joel T. Vanilli. So that's complete. So that's what you get, but you don't get. It seems to be me that you get different remixes on the vinyl, which are just exclusive to the actual vinyl itself. So that's probably going to be my next purchase if I can actually find that. I do have another Bobby Brown vinyl, and that's of the track That's the Way Love Is, which again is taken off the Bobby album, and I bought that a good couple of decades ago. So I've at least got that, and it's got some few rare remixes on there as well. But so yeah, I'm hopefully again this will get me back into getting vinyls, and then obviously I need to get a record player because I don't actually have one. So I'm gonna have a look at the actual disc itself. Hopefully there's nothing wrong. And as you can see, it's a little bit dusty, but nothing that a little cloth can't fix. And as I said before, you get the K-Klass mix with which is over 7 minutes and 48 seconds long on this side, and then you get the Pharmacy dub, which is over 6 minutes on this side. And then it flips off without dropping. And then on the other side, you get the Humpin' Around remix by Steve Anderson mix, and you get the Two Can Play That Game radio mix. So as I'm looking at the condition of it, looks in really good condition, just a little bit dusty as I said, but that can easily be cleaned with a cloth. There doesn't appear to be any scratches in it. So obviously, because the thing about records is that if there's all the tracks on the actual tracks are on actual grooves, and the thing about grooves is that if they get scratched, then what can happen is that on a record player, when the music is playing, it starts jumping, which I'm very used to. But yeah, I remember seeing other people like my cousin, my late cousin, mixing, having a twin deck record player, and then blending it into the next record, or people doing like people like DJ Jazzy Jeff doing mixes on the decks, and I've always wanted to be able to do that. And I remember my late cousin telling me, because I've got tons of CDs, saying to me, obviously now you can get CD players where you can do a similar thing what you do with record decks. So again, those two things I wouldn't mind. I would be interested in getting, but obviously it would cost money to be able to do that. But yeah, I'm really glad because I had no idea that that in particular the Pharmacy dub of by K-Klass of Humpin' Around even existed. Again, I knew about the extended K-Klass mix of Humpin' Around. I knew about the Steve Anderson remix of Humpin' Around, but just not the Pharmacy dub of it. I only heard about that from a week ago. So now I've actually finally physically got it. So it's just a matter of, as I said, getting a record player and then being able to listen to it in person. So yeah, hopefully you all enjoyed this video, and maybe I might even do I don't know if I've actually got it nearby. I'm trying to see if I have. Yeah, I think I actually have. I'll have rather than show you a separate video, I'll show you the That's the Way Love Is. It's seen better days in terms of the actual condition of it. It's already fallen out already. Probably have to try and clean up the actual record itself. So it's a bit dusty, so I apologise for the condition of it. And as you can see, that that was the first vinyl record that I've ever bought. That's the way I love it. And it's the 12-inch mix. And then obviously you got the 3 tracks, but they're on 3 tracks on each side. So you get That's the Way Love Is, the extended club mix, which I've seen, but obviously not on streaming, not on the streaming platforms, maybe only on things like YouTube where people have uploaded it. The second track is That's the Way Love Is, the Ragamuffin dub, which again I've only seen on YouTube, not on streaming. That's the Way Love Is, Sweet, which I think is just the basic, is a instrumental version of it. The That's the Way Love Is extended 12-inch version, which I have seen. I'm just seeing where I have seen it because on Apple Music, they do have the That's the Way Love Is CD single in there, which has 4 tracks in it, and it does have the extended 12-inch version, so that's available on there. So that's on the streaming services. You've got That's the Way Love Is, the LP version of it, which is again is on the album, and then you've got the third or technically 6th track on the side B, which is That's the Way Love Is, the guitar pella. So you've got that as well, and as it says here, the original versions appear on the Bobby Brown album titled Bobby by MCA. So you got that there. And then it comes in a little sleeve thing. I'll show you the first part. I'll fold this out. And you got that there, which you can see, which was cool. And it does say, you can see there, part 2 of the 12 pack to fit here. So there probably are other ones available, which I might keep a lookout for. You see the condition of the record, because again I haven't touched this in years. And then you can see the vinyl there. It even has the same label as the Humpin' Around one. Again, it's a bit dusty, so I need to give it a good clean. But other than that, it's in great condition. And funny enough, I have played it before. When my late grandfather's record player was actually working, I used to play this album on there. So at one point my grandfather's record player was working, but as before, it's a very, very old record player which doesn't work anymore. And I had plans to try and get my cousin to try and fix it, because that's his expertise into the records and music. But unfortunately, obviously, as I've said many times, he died 2 years ago. So you know, it's just one of the things. But I might try and maybe one day and try and get a model. But at least now I've got this in my collection, and as before, hopefully there'll be many more to come. So I hope people enjoyed this video. And again, it was something different to what I normally do on my YouTube channel. So hopefully you all enjoyed it, and bear with me with this a little bit longer than usual video. So this is the vinyl by Bobby Brown of the Humpin' Around the Klass mixes. Anyway, I hope people enjoyed this video, and please feel free to share with friends and family. Also, you can give this video a thumbs up. I would highly appreciate that. That will allow people to find my YouTube channel and content. Now, this is because of the YouTube algorithms favour the bigger YouTubers, so their channel get advertised on YouTube recommendation page. So it'd be nice to get some new subscribers. And speaking of subscribers, if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, then please consider subscribing. If you want to see stuff like this, wherever it's vinyl records, which I very rarely do, Blu-ray and Blu-ray steelbook unboxings, as well as on the rare occasion DVD unboxings, my Blu-ray and Blu-ray steelbook collection, as well as my DVD limited edition collection. You can check that out. A few months ago, I recently did videos on VHS cassettes, primarily of the 1985 movie Back to the Future on VHS cassettes. You can check out that. I recently uploaded the follow-up to that, which was Back to the Future Part 2 on VHS cassette. so you can check out that as well. And I will be following that up with Back to the Future Part 3 on VHS cassette as well. Also, I do food and drink reviews, which I've recently done of the original recipe of Iron Brew, and this is the original 1901 recipe, so you can check out that video. And I'll be doing some other beverage reviews that I'll be doing on my YouTube channel, and maybe even some food reviews, some new burgers that have been released from these different, whether it's McDonald's or whoever. So if people will be interested in that. Also, video game unboxings, video game playthroughs, comics. Really been loving the Absolute series from DC Comics. Also, my comic book collection of the last few decades. Comic book graphic novels, which I've recently done, is of Batman for 3 Jokers. You can check that out. And I also will be showcasing the rest of my comic book collection and the rest of my graphic novels as well. So stay tuned for that. Also, statues and figures. I've recently done a Superman one based on the David Cornsweet Superman. So I should be uploading that before I upload this. So that should be up before this video is up. Also, I've done a unboxed video of the 2015 Marty McFly from Back to the Future Part 2. So I should be doing that. Also, I'll be doing a couple of items I picked up. One of them is in relation to Star Wars. One in relation to the animated 1986 movie Transformers the movie, and one of them, and then another one will be superhero related. Also, you can check out my Superboy Prime unboxing video, which I've done on my YouTube channel a few months ago, well, a good few months ago. So you can check out that. It is a really great figure. I mean, I can't say anything more than that. Also, check out some of my figures, other statues that I've uploaded from a couple of years ago. Particularly the Artifacts Justice League based on the New 52 appearances. Those statues were kindly given to me from a friend of mine who needed the space, so he gave me those statues, so you can check out those videos, and I might do them as YouTube shorts. And also he gave me some other statues and figures as well, and I have picked up other statues and figures from previous Christmases, previous January sales, and previous birthdays as well, and they will be in relation to DC Comics, Transformers, Marvel, and Star Wars as well. And I will, of course, I've already mentioned Back to the Future and something super, and obviously the Superman related. So the Back to the Future and Superman videos have already been filmed. So just a matter of just uploading them. So stay tuned for that. If you're into statues and figures, I think you're going to be in for an absolute treat. And also, I've got a gaming one in relation to a big franchise character, which I think you're absolutely gonna love. So if you're into that kind of thing, definitely subscribe to this YouTube channel. Also, beauty products, whether it's body washes, shower gels, bath salts, aftershaves, facial products. If you're into all that, you're gonna love my channel. Again, what I do is after a few weeks of use, I do a follow-up videos as YouTube shorts, telling you whether or not if I recommend those particular items or not, and whether or not they're money for value. So stay tuned for that. Also, DIY products, gadgets, and film memorabilia items as well. The film memorabilia stuff in particular I've got is going to be Back to the Future related again, so you see where that's going and how much I love that movie. So I think you're going to love that. I've done electrical appliance unboxings. I've done one of a microwave and 3 Vax products. 2 of the Vax products I also will be doing as follow-up reviews as well. So stay tuned for that. I might even do some more music CDs, which I've done a couple in the past. So if people, especially after seeing this, you might be interested in checking those out. Also, I do a monthly vlog, which tells you what I've been up to for the last month and what I'll be up to next month. Also, rant videos when they deem necessary, and also YouTube shorts as well, so you can keep an eye out for that. Also, accessories, whether it's for gaming, which I've done some for battery packs, and also glass screen protector for the Nintendo Switch 2. So you can see me unboxing that and also applying it to the Switch 2 screen, which wasn't easy. So you can check out that, pardon me, and my unboxing video of that. Also, I did unbox the video of the Nintendo Switch 2. It was a couple of days after release, after when everyone else did it, and I had to re-upload the video on top of that after uploading it. So you can check out my unique unboxing video of the Switch 2. Also, I've also done a series of comparison videos comparing the Nintendo Switch 1 components to the Nintendo Switch 2 components, even right down to the box. So you can check out Vol's videos as well. Also, I do collect art books, and I've done 3 of recent, which were of the movie Gemini Man, Black Panther Wakanda, and also the art and making of Pacific Rim Uprising. So you can check out those. Normally those art books, hardback, normally go from anywhere between £30 to £35 each, brand new, because they're hardback, but I got them from Forbidden Planet, which you can check out in central London, anywhere between £2.99 and £4.99. And I do have some other art books that I got from previous January sales as well, and they will range from movie to TV shows to video games as well. And other art books I've got in my collection, which will be mostly comic book related, especially with the Dark Knight trilogy, and also of the franchise James Bond as well. So if you're into all that, I think you're absolutely going to love Vol's particular videos. I'm trying to think. Also, I do clothing pickups as well, which I've done. Just a couple of trainers in the past, t-shirts, sportswear. I've got a couple more clothing pickups to actually upload and showcase, and actually a couple more footwear and clothing pickups to showcase my channel as well. So if you're into that kind of thing, and especially into sportswear and into bargains as well, you've definitely come to the right place when it comes to that kind of thing. Also, I do movie and TV show recommendations and reviews. I've done movie reviews of Sudden Death, that's with Jean-Claude Van Damme, Powers Booth. I've done Batman Forever. I thought I did Batman Returns, but I might do that at some point. Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock. Again, it's a fantastic Blu-ray steelbook and a great, pretty good sequel. Also Mission Impossible, the first one with Tom Cruise, and that was directed by Brian De Palma. Again, great movie, looks fantastic on Blu-ray, even better Blu-ray steelbook. Also Iron Man, which is the first Robert Downey Jr. movie as Iron Man, as Tony Stark. Again, he was born to play that role, so you can check out that review, and I think you actually gonna. It's one of my favorite Iron Man movies, and if not one of my favorite Marvel movies, you can check that out. Trying to think else what I also have done as well. Also, the 1982 movie Tron, again, fantastic Blu-ray steelbook. The effects still hold up, especially from a 1982 movie. Still state the art, in my honest opinion. And also the 1982 movie in Star Trek To the Wrath of Khan. Again, a classic Star Trek movie, great Blu-ray steelbook. And you get 2 versions of the movie, which is the theatrical cut and the director's cut of the movie. So that's really great. And there will be many more movie reviews coming to my YouTube channel, will be old and new. Hopefully, I will be doing the review of the new Superman movie, which I've heard is decisive with a lot of people, and it's really for some dumb reasons, instead of just enjoying the movie for what it is. And fingers crossed, I should also be doing the Fantastic Four First Steps as well, which I'm looking forward to as well, because I'm a big fan of Pedro Pascal, and a big Fantastic Four fan as well, especially of the comics and the various different animated cartoon shows they've done over the past. And obviously they did do 2 live action Fantastic Four movies. And again, I would like to also say, it's really sad to hear the passing of Julian McMahon, who played Doctor Doom in the 2 sequels. So that's really sad to hear that he sadly lost his life. So I would like to pay my condolences there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing those 2 movies in July. Anyway, in Christmas 2023 we hit 500 YouTube subscribers. Early 2024 we hit 600 YouTube subscribers, and as of the date of the 11th of July, we're more than halfway to 900 YouTube subscribers. In fact, as of now, we're only 19 away from 900 YouTube subscribers. So if you haven't already subscribed, I said please subscribe to give me that final push to get to 900 YouTube subscribers. I would really appreciate that. Again, a special thanks to all of you who've already subscribed, whether or not you're a long-time subscriber or you recently subscribed. I really appreciate all of you. If there's any question you want to ask about a particular product, then please feel free to ask, and I'll do the best I can in answering in the comment section and asking them about a particular product. Hopefully, as simple we can push to 900 YouTube subscribers, and my big target is to get to at least to 1,000. That's always been one of my key targets, to hit to 1,000. So again, thank you to each and every one of you for subscribing to my YouTube channel. Without you guys, I wouldn't be where I am, and I really appreciate you all. I do live stream on Twitch, and to find me there, saying that's my YouTube name. Just add the number 76. I will leave the link in the description box if you care to try want to follow me on there. I don't have a set schedule when I live stream on Twitch. It's mainly because of my personal hectic personal life, and also health issues as well. So it's a day-by-day basis of when I can and can't stream. If there isn't any copyright material in the streams that I do on Twitch, I try to export the videos to YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, on a rare occasion I do live stream on YouTube. It mainly will be casual gaming, so it'll be beat 'em ups, shoot 'em ups, platform games, sports games, racing games, sports games, things like that. Even if you do miss the live streams, the videos will be kept up. Although it would be nice to have some live viewers. Over nearly 2 months ago, I did 2 birthday streams, so you can check out those if they're still up. And again, as I said, the videos will be kept up on YouTube indefinitely, in case, or unless some dumbass happens. And it just leaves me to say, wherever you're in the world, please stay safe, be good to each other, and I will speak to you again on the next video. Bye for now.